Hi everyone. It's Alex Getze here, attorney and founder of Alexandra Getze Family Law in Dallas, Texas. We help women struggling in their marriages, find the confidence that they need to regain control over their lives. And we're doing a Facebook mini-series for the holidays, the ultimate guide to surviving the holidays when you can't stand your spouse. And I believe we're on episode 4 today, and it is Rethink That Drink. So when I actually ran this topic past a few girlfriends, they were appalled that I would even consider trying to get through the stressful time of the holidays without picking up an alcoholic beverage. But I want you guys to hear me out. I know that this is it's tempting. It can be tempting to drown your sorrows and anxiety and depression and stuff in a nice tall mug of eggnog, of spiked eggnog. But we all know that that's not really the answer either. And I know, especially because I actually speak from personal experience. I'm first generation American, but I grew up in a culture where alcoholism was socially and culturally accepted. And it was so ingrained in my upbringing, and had so many loved ones, family, friends, acquaintances who were alcoholics that I didn't even know what an alcoholic was until I was really into my 20s and realized that there was a difference between acceptable drinking and substance abuse. So I did take the time to empower myself by educating myself about it and learning to deal with some of those issues. And I wanted to share some of what we deal with in our practice and some of my own personal experiences and some tips and things that maybe can help you get through the holidays in a little bit, avoiding alcohol if possible, or at least moderating it and enjoying the holidays rather than perpetuating sort of a toxic and unhealthy cycle. Most of us do drink to manage emotions and stress that the day brings. So we lead busy lives, and it can be, I don't want to deal with that right now. It's just easier to ingest something to help the stress and anxiety or whatever go away. And, in moderation, that's fine, but it's when it goes to excess that it becomes a problem. And obviously some big reasons for avoiding alcohol are, excessive alcohol can cause depression, it can cause violent behavior, and it can also lower your inhibitions so that you do or say things that you may not normally say or want to say. And obviously then if you do stuff like that, then it just perpetuates and creates more drama in your life, when that may be the opposite. You're trying to escape that drama and try to escape that toxic environment. By drinking, you're actually perpetuating that cycle and continuing that environment. So some tips on ways to soothe your pain that may not involve alcohol is go seek support from your friends. Go create a support network around you. Sometimes, just talking to someone is a great idea. Here through the firm, we've got our team that you can certainly turn to and talk to. We've also got divorce coaches and life coaches. We've got therapists that are specialized in helping clients with alcohol and substance abuse problems. Addiction, gambling is another one. So any sort of addiction issues, certainly you want to reach out for support, and that can be through friends, it can be through family, and it should be people that will coach you through it, not people who will continue to enable you in bad behaviors. So you want to find people who will inspire you and motivate you to achieve success and achieve your dreams and the outcomes that you really want. Facebook groups, that's another one that can be really great. There's a lot of Facebook groups out there, as I'm sure you are aware, but finding one that is a good fit for you, that supports you in a way that you need to be supported, just putting messages out there so that you can see that support, that you're not alone, getting input and advice from other people as to their own personal situations and how they resolved it can open up a world of opportunities and possibilities for you too, and ideas. Like we talked about, mental health professionals, not only can they talk to you through issues, but sometimes you need medical intervention, and they may be able to prescribe medications to help with that underlying anxiety or depression, so that you can take a prescribed regimen to deal with those emotions rather than going to alcohol or other substances or other addictive behaviors. And then nurturing your soul, something as simple as, going to a place of worship and sitting there and absorbing that energy, or just finding some quiet time, making that time, really schedule it into your schedule, your calendar, and set aside the time for yourself to listen to music or just have silence. And I know it can be really difficult in today's world to find a place that's truly quiet and a sanctuary, but there are still places out there. Finding a hobby, if you enjoy music or art or craftsmanship, like do those things again, even if maybe you haven't done them in years. Just picking up little things along the way and finding that time for yourself can really be soothing and nurturing to you, rather than turning to a drink. But another thing that could be helpful is avoiding having alcohol entirely. It's sort of how we in our household, my kids are sugar freaks, and so we try to minimize the sugar that we have. We have a bucket of Halloween candy, and that lasts the entire year. I know I have a weakness for Oreo cookies, so I don't keep Oreo cookies in the house. I might buy like a little snack pack if I'm really needing an Oreo cookie, but I don't buy the jumbo packs because I know if I buy the jumbo pack, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to eat like half the thing in one sitting. So avoiding alcohol and not having it in the house so that you avoid that temptation is great, and not just for yourself, but it makes it harder for your spouse. If your spouse is the one with the alcohol or addiction problem, not having that around or not having it easily accessible can be a great thing, because maybe it will help curb some of their tendencies towards not so great behavior. Now, if you are going to drink and if you're going to events, here are some tips on helping you deal with that. Setting boundaries for yourself is a great way before you go to an event, because you know there's going to be alcohol there most likely. And so make rules for yourself, like I'm only going to have one beer, or I'm only going to have 2 drinks. Whatever that is. You can even specify the drinks that you're going to have. It's going to be, cranberry, whatever, drink, and then a glass of red wine or something. And so you set those rules for yourself, and you stick to those rules. And when you're specific with the rules, it's also going to be easier for you to enforce it. And then when you run out of those drinks, let's say, have a backup plan. So having a backup plan like a non-alcoholic beverage of choice. I know, like when I was pregnant, my non-alcoholic beverage would be club soda. So I would always do club soda and lime. And so everybody might think that I would have a drink, although I guess that's not a good thing to be thinking, that when you have a drink when you're pregnant, but it can be, cranberry with soda or something like that. Just something that makes you feel like you're fitting in, if that's what you need, but it's still non-alcoholic and makes you feel better about yourself. Low calorie, great for the diet too. And then also plan the amount of time that you're going to spend at the event. Use your cell phone, the timer on your cell phone. That's a great tool, so use it. I'm sure there's apps out there. I haven't looked, but there may even be apps out there where you can set sort of times, like warning signals and stuff, where, set 30 minutes out so that you can get a warning to say, okay, I've got to head out of here in about 30 minutes, so I'm going to go get my coat, I'm going to go say goodbye to the host, wrap it up with my friends, things like that, and then stick to it. So again, be specific with the boundaries and the rules that you set. Make rules that you'll be able to abide by, and then enforce yourself, and with clarity and specificity. Then the professional help. I know we touched on that earlier, but definitely get professional help. You may not know, but there are a ton of great options out there these days for helping with addiction behaviors. You can do one-on-one treatments. You can do group treatments and therapy. You can do inpatient, outpatient. You can do, quick little recoveries, longer recovery times. There's even medical intervention now. There's, there's different biofeedback that they can do. There's medications, things like that they can help you with. So definitely do your research and look for things that will work for you. And also keep in mind that you may try something and it doesn't work for you the first time. Addiction can be very difficult to deal with, and so you won't get over it the first time, and it's going to be a lifelong process. But don't give up. There are, other treatments out there. To keep exploring until you find something that works for you. call the hotlines and talk to people. Talking to people who understand what you're going through and can give you ideas and opportunities is a great idea. And if you're interested in specific referrals, come talk to us. We do have a list here in the office for different services, different entities, and different options. And even if you're not thinking about divorce or anything like that, just to be a resource for you, that's what we're here for. And of course, lastly, don't put others at risk. If you are going to be drinking to excess, make sure that you have other things in place that doesn't put other people at risk. There's devices now that you can put on your car that will allow you to blow into it, and then you can not drive. It'll lock the car up. If you have a spouse who is an alcoholic, then perhaps putting that device in their car. Getting the device in their car could be that's a different story, but maybe they're agreeable to it, maybe not. Again, you can come talk to us about what options there are. So that's an option. And then Uber, obviously Uber these days is so affordable and so easy. Even if you drive to an event and then you decide leave the car there, Uber back to your house, and then come back the next day for it. It's definitely worth it. You don't want to put others at risk. You don't want to put your own future at risk. And so those are kind of my 2 cents. That's pretty much what I've got for you today. It's kind of shorter, and I hope I didn't lecture you guys too much. Like I said, this is sort of a topic of interest for me because of personal situations, and so I feel it's also important because it is a big issue during the holidays, and I want you guys to be safe, and I want you guys to be able to empower yourselves so that you are inspired and want to be, motivate you guys to be successful. We can all achieve our dreams if we support each other and help each other through that. And so stop hating your spouse and start planning a life that you love. All right, see ya. Till next week, Tuesday at 2. Tune in and we'll have our next episode, which I believe is Embrace Your Inner Hermit. So talk to you then.